They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks, with these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. New breed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Undoubtedly, the one you call Jesus Christ was a black man. He was melanated. He had hair like wool. He had a deep voice. He was dark-skinned. He wasn't only just a black man. He was a dark-skinned man. He wasn't brown. He wasn't light-skinned. No, Christ was dark. We're talking about Wesley Snipes, dark. So let's make that clear. That's how he's described biblically. I don't know who this character is that they put up, but clearly the Most High God ain't happy with it. What my man Sizzler say? We serve no white God. I'm sorry, he's not white. Christians, I know that you have a hard time accepting this. You have a hard time understanding that Christ is the same image as your sons, as your uncles, as your father, as your grandfather, as the man that you dealt with. Yeah, he came in that same image. His lineage and bloodline is of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He comes through the lineage of David. He was a black man, all right? There's no doubt about it. In some extra biblical text, on record, on file. It even goes into race attributing to his crucifixion because of the things he was bringing to the world. They even say his race contributed to his crucifixion. Now, let's make that clear. And if you have a problem with that, if you have an issue with that, so be it. But make this clear. Regardless of what your nationality is, your color, kindred, or creed, if you choose not to remember Christ as the scriptures have said, that's on you. You have to take that up with the Lord. But you see how the Lord is dealing with false idols.
Are you children of Israel? We are the biblical Israelites. Let's shine our light on this entire world and let them know that we're not standing for these 2/3 and their evil intentions for us. And we're not falling for the tricks and the charades. It's time that we rise up, honor the law, statutes, and commandments written up in that Bible, and stay on the right direction. Mic check, mic check. Peace and blessings, everyone. I see you brothers and sisters join in pretty quick. Hebrew Cares in the building. Salute. Y'all support Hebrew Care on newbreedglobaltruth.com. Y'all got to show some support. I see BJ, BD Jack, NG. I see Tamika Buckley's in the building. Peace and blessings to everybody, y'all. Yes, we're utilizing some new software here. Just getting around some of the nuances. I see y'all. Peace and blessings to y'all. Mic check sounding good. All right. Look, we got to go in. We definitely got to go in. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Trump is expanding ISIS operations. It's getting crazy out here, and it's to the point where the mass majority don't seem to see what's happening right now. But it's starting to look like a real war out there. And it looks like, they're going to be evading Chicago, and they're taking control of naval yards, and this is getting crazy. This is getting crazy. I want to thank J. Rowe. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Now, we got to get into the news because we want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the news right now, because we're in pivotal times. It's getting crucial. It's getting crucial. And I want you brothers and sisters to be very knowledgeable of what's taking place, right? And we're going to cook today. We are going to definitely cook, all right? There's a lot of things I want to go into this evening. I want to talk about the interview that I just did with Tony Ruiz. That was amazing. Very amazing, very informative live stream. And so I want to go into that, some of the things that was actually brought out. And but y'all, let's get into it. One thing at a time. Let's talk about what's going on with ICE right now. Let's get to it.
Weekend, the Trump administration under scrutiny for a push to place federal troops on the streets of Chicago and for recent firings and resignations at the CDC. Willie James Inman has that story.
This Labor Day weekend, the Trump administration is facing pushback for a plan to send federal troops into Chicago in response to violent crime. On Sunday's Face the Nation, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says troops don't belong on the streets of the Windy City.
Murders are down 50% in the city of Chicago. National Guard troops, any kind of troops on the streets of an American city don't belong unless there is an insurrection.
But Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defended the administration's push to cut crime.
For 13 consecutive years, Chicago had more murders than any other American city.
The Trump administration is also coming under scrutiny after firing the director of the CDC. Director Susan Menarez's firing was followed by the resignation of 4 other high-profile CDC leaders. CBS News medical contributor Celine Gowder says the departures have created a vacuum in U.S. medical leadership.
These are really key positions, not to mention that a lot of the directors of the different centers, because it's centers plural, have also been forced out over the last several months. So
now, I want y'all to understand the reason why you're seeing some CDC turmoil taking off is because, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be another pandemic coming. All right. There will be another disease that hits, and they're already getting turmoil because of it, because we already know that a lot of the information that's going to come out is going to be, I'm going to use a word, it's going to be very arbitrary, right? And the people are already hip. Like, you know, we're in this simulation right now. Hebrew Care, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Thanks for sponsoring the show. And y'all make sure y'all support Hebrew Care too on newbreedglobaltruth.com. For real. Now, let's see. This here is interesting. So we're going to get back into the news clip, and then I see a few questions in the chat. I am going to answer those questions momentarily. But let's go back.
4 other high-profile CDC leaders. CBS News medical contributor Celine Gowder says the departures have created a vacuum in U.S. medical leadership.
these are really key positions, not to mention that a lot of the directors of the different centers, because it's centers plural, have also been forced out over the last several months. So you're really dealing with a leadership vacuum at the CDC.
Gowder also expressed concern about recent vaccine policy changes from the CDC.
Vaccine policy is now being made by political fiat and communicated through social media rather than a transparent, open scientific review process. And so we're seeing the reversal of previous recommendations, which will also confuse whether insurance will cover certain vaccines for certain people.
Now, of course, I would love to go do a deep dive on what's going on with the CDC, vaccines in the up and coming pandemic. But of course, I don't want to get targeted by the World Health Organization right now, because that's not what this stream is about. But we will discuss those on other platforms such as Patreon, because really soon there's going to be some news that comes out and they're already priming and prepping the public. All right. You know, it's about to be winter time. So what we're going to be looking at is another spike. We're going to look at another spike in this this COVID, right? Or some other disease they got brewing. My brother Tony is in the house. My brother Tony is in the building. Thank you for the super chat. Tony says, Tony in the house. I'm ready for the smoke. I will lead it from California. That's right. That's right. And we're going to talk about that because, look, Tony, when I interviewed him, he let it be known he want all the smoke. He was rebuking all Latinos for Trump. He said, look, if there's any of you MAGA folks that want any problems, he's all for it. So Tony, he's officially on the squad. He's on the team. He's ready. He's ready for whatever. So he's definitely part of the crew. And we all want the smoke from these people, because there's so much that was brought out in our interview that we gotta discuss, y'all. It's so much that we gotta discuss, because it's rather infuriating how our veterans are treated. You know, you got people out there that will call people like us anti-American because we challenge the mainstream views and narratives. They will call us anti-American and we did the most American thing we can do in yesterday's stream. And that's speak up for the veterans. That's speaking up for them veterans and trying to get them the benefits that they deserve. The people who fought for this country is speaking up for them, and Tony putting out information to make sure they get their benefits is the most American thing we can do. So we actually are not anti-American at all. We are the core of America. We are the heartbeat of America. Just like the blacks and Latinos are the heartbeat of Los Angeles. Now, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. And somebody in the chat asked me, am I going to be interviewing more people? Yes, there's going to be some very reputable guests on this show. There's going to be some very prominent guests on New Breed Global Truth. Mark my words. We're not playing any type of games with this. So make no mistake about it. Now, the National Guard, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of intel on what's going on with the National Guard, right? So the operations have surged. Federal troops can now be deployed in Chicago. It's going to be happening later this week. All right. It's going to happen later this week. Both the ICE expansion and the possibility of a federal troop presence will be in Chicago later this week. Now, the DHS, it confirms this expansion. The report emphasizes ICE has increased activity looming over the city, and that's going to add to Trump's crackdown. Now, what will they be able to do? They're going to actually be taking seize of a lot of the naval yards. They're going to be setting up bases in Chicago. So what I want y'all to understand is, it's something that I said a couple streams ago. ICE ain't going nowhere. The military ain't going nowhere. They're about to set up bases. They're about to take hold of naval yards. They're going to be set up in these cities. So this expansion, some of it is going to go towards migration enforcement. But a lot of what's happening is we seeing Trump create his super soldiers to control the cities. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. And I want everybody to get the likes up as well. Get the likes up. Y'all know how they like to do. This is a prime time where we have to get the likes up. That's what you can do to support New Breed Global Truth. As you enter, you hit those likes. You're not going to be too much getting this information from too many places, right? But for those just joining, what I will do is I'm going to give a recap on what's happening right now with the ICE expansion.
Trump administration under scrutiny for a push to place federal troops on the streets of Chicago and for recent firings and resignations at the CDC. Willie James Inman has that story.
This Labor Day weekend, the Trump administration is facing pushback for a plan to send federal troops into Chicago.
Now, notice he did this on Labor Day weekend. While most people are cooking out, most people are not paying attention to what's going on in the news. This is a sneak attack. Yeah, this was militaristic in itself. He did this on Labor Day while people was throwing burgers and dogs on the grill. He decided that, all right, you know what? Let's go ahead and do an ICE expansion now. Let's start really, setting up bases and setting up, let's start to move this plan forward and engaging Chicago. And we know that they're going after the Black community in Chicago. We know that, right? So I'm going to tell y'all this. If you in Chicago, get up off them streets. You brothers get up off them streets. Yep. Let's go.
Response to violent crime. On Sunday's Face the Nation, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says troops don't belong on the streets of the Windy City.
Murders are down 50% in the city of Chicago. National Guard troops, any kind of troops, on the streets of an American city don't belong unless there is an insurrection.
But Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defended the administration's push to cut crime.
For 13 consecutive years, Chicago had more murders than any other American city.
The Trump administration is also coming under scrutiny after firing the director.
What they need to do is give more funding to the police in Chicago. Because y'all got to remember, Trump did an $80 million cut on law enforcement funding, on crime prevention. I mean, this is a fact. He did an $80 million cut in the big, beautiful bill and crime prevention funds, only so he can use military. So what you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is police being defunded while the militarization of America is taking place right before our eyes. And this is something that we really need to pay attention to. Let me see here. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate the support. Blessings to you. And this is what's happening. Are we going to get the National Guard for all these radicals, extremists who are shooting up schools? Can we do something about that? Can we do something about these little weird maniacs that are running up in schools, often putting the hot ones in our babies? Can we do something about that? Can we do something about these sadists and these maniacs that are claiming lives? No, their target is blacks and Latinos who make up the prison industrial complex. That's who their target is. They keep beating down on God's people. They just keep doing it relentlessly. No mercy. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, because this goes into a lot of what we were discussing on that interview with Tony Ruiz. It really does. And I want to share something with y'all, and I want to go into some scriptures too, because you know, the words in that book jump right off the pages. They truly jump right off of the pages. I'm telling you. Now, in case y'all wasn't around for this interview right here, it was utterly amazing, because we have an ex-federal employee who is bringing out the truth about how our veterans have been treated in this country under the Trump administration. He brung it out. He brung out a plethora of information. I'm talking about, he brung out actual documents, actual paperwork. And I'm going to tell you something. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And it takes a lot of compassion for the people. This is a brother who lost his job for speaking up for blacks and Latinos through the DEI cuts that were made. And I'm going to tell you, if the people don't start sticking together, we're going to be under martial law in America. I'm at this point, I know that Trump more than likely will be the last president. He will be the last president based on what's happening. Why? Because nobody has any courage these days. Nobody want to stand on business, and nobody want to fight for their freedom. And by fighting, I don't mean forming some militia and taking to the streets. No, that's what the hell they want us to do. So they can bring their National Guards in and start doing what they want to do. We're not foolish. We're not trying to do nothing crazy. See, we're not these damn school shooters. We're not them. But we know that the power is in the politics we address. We know that we have to speak on these matters. We know that we have to voice our concerns for what's going on. Because a lot of people don't have the heart or the integrity to do that. And it's only because we have the Most High God in our lives that we're able to even speak on these matters and present them to y'all. Although they don't want y'all to hear what we talk about. They don't want y'all to hear this. But the ones who are here, who are listening, bless your eyes that you can see and bless your ears that you can hear. Because when you have any level of discernment and foresight, you can see we're going into a totalitarian government, and it's already being rammed in tyranny. All of the things that you've seen in the movies are happening. And we need a level of togetherness at this moment, because these people aren't stopping. Isaiah 10:1 says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. That's what's happening right now. Widows are the prey. They're robbing the fatherless. They're disregarding the ancient grays of hair, meaning our veterans. They work for this country. They fought for this country. They risked their lives for this country, only to be cast away in the streets as poor. We just got a report not too long ago from one of our sisters, Sister Lee. Shout out to you. She's part of the team too. She does her investigations. She's claiming that there's still homeless people in DC near the VA, still laying out there. But we know that a great deal of them are disappearing. Same thing is happening in Atlanta. There's one street in Atlanta where there was nothing but homeless people. Somebody sent me the video. It's nothing but homeless people lined up there. One morning, they told them, look, y'all got 5 minutes to get up and move. If not, we're going to be detaining you. This is how they treat the poor in this country. And what we did, Tony being a former VA employee, he called it all out. He called it all out. Exactly what they were doing. How a large percentage, well, not even a large percentage, they were told to deny everybody's claim practically. Everybody's claim. Tony gave information so people can get that information that people didn't know about so they won't lose their benefits. So I want to just point that out because somebody got to speak up for the less fortunate. Somebody got to speak out who was done wrong. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Why is the people mourning right now, ladies and gentlemen? Because the wicked are ruling. And I don't know what kind of MK Ultra mind control Trump, I called him Chump for a second. Trump got on the people where they can get on TV and tell you everything is better than it ever was. And we can clearly see that it's not. We can clearly see that the groceries are still off the chain. The price of gas is still off the chain. The housing market, forget about it. Why is that? Because the wicked are bearing rule. The wicked are bearing rule. And everybody, again, we have to get the likes up. We have to get the shares up. We have to get we listen on New Breed Global Truth here. We're going to have to get the mentions up. We're going to have to get the video reactions up. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I work against the algorithm. I work against the algorithm. Trust me when I tell you this. So it's going to take you all, especially my day ones. If my day ones are in here, if you've been a long time supporter of mine, you have to support my material for real. You have to spread the word, share, like, and get in them comments. As I'm talking to y'all, make sure y'all talking back. Because that's what they want right now. We need to, matter of fact, everybody just make that comment section go crazy right now. Put ones in the chat. Put something in there. Make it move. Because they want to stop the word. They want to stop the truth. And I don't want to put paywalls on everything I do. I don't want to be forced to put paywalls on everything I do just so I can keep a show. So y'all make sure y'all help out. Y'all help the cause. Now, what's going on right now is prophetic. It's prophetic. And I want to go to another scripture here. Ecclesiastes 5:8. If thou seest the oppression of the poor, and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. So we cannot marvel at what these people are doing. We got to be proactive and know who's in control. Know who's in control. Don't believe that these people have so much power over us, they can keep us oppressed and we can't even speak. Andre, thank you for the support. I appreciate you, brother. Because right now, they're turning this into a military zone. They really are. Let's see. And you know, Trump had just, and we're going to go into more info on this crackdown that's going on in Chicago because it's only the beginning. So allow me to share my screen with y'all. Let's get to it.
Is increasing threats to deploy federal forces to Chicago. The president said he wants a crackdown on crime there, while the Democratic governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, is calling it something else, a potential invasion. So far this Labor Day weekend, dozens of shootings have been reported in Chicago. The president is warning that Pritzker, he better, quote, straighten it out fast or we're coming. The governor says the White House is making plans in secret without communicating with his office. And it does come as CNN is reporting that the Trump administration is planning a major immigration operation in Chicago as early as this week. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has confirmed that ICE will expand operations in that city and other locations. But Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has now signed an executive order instructing local police not to assist in any federal immigration crackdown. Let's get right to Chicago this morning for the latest. CNN's Whitney Wild is there. Whitney, give us the status.
Why would it be an immigration crackdown in Chicago as well? You know what I believe is happening, ladies and gentlemen? I think ICE being granted more operations and more power, I think Black ICE is becoming very real. See, Black ICE was kind of like a theory. Black ICE was something that was speculatory. In case y'all wondering what Black ICE is, the real Black ICE is ice that's outside when it's cold. You can't see it, and then you slip. Very similar to ICE that's going to Chicago. Very similar. You got ICE going into Chicago talking about immigration, an immigration crackdown. Are they going to start packing our people up? Because I want y'all to think about something. We already know that they're going after the YNs in the hood. Are they going to start? Here's the thing. The military does not really have the right to detain anyone. They don't have the right to detain anyone. That's why when you heard about 700 people being detained in Washington, D.C., you couldn't find a record on those people, really. Now, listen, this is just a theory. Are these soldiers literally snatching people up, sending them to these damn alligator Alcatraz prisons? Are they sending them overseas to Venezuela? Is there organ harvesting going on? Why the hell these ICE agents are wearing masks? Why we got so many video clips of them not having any badges, any identification, any badge numbers, nothing? Do anybody find any of that suspicious? Hebrew Care says, everyone know our people are in these cities. The war is on us. Absolutely. That's exactly what's happening. A war against the Most High's people. You're looking at ethnic purging take place in America. That's what's happening. Somebody said they can hold you for 72 hours. Hold you where? The military can hold you where for 72 hours? How are they by law doing this? This is all the things we've been talking about for so many years, how it will come to this.
John, the expectation here is that there are going to be federal resources surged into the city of Chicago by Friday. The expectation is that's going to look like at least armored vehicles, very likely boots on the ground here. And when you're looking at some framework across the country to find out how this is going to look in Chicago, the question is it going to look like Washington, D.C., or is it going to look like Los Angeles? And our sources are telling us that this is going to look a lot more like Los Angeles. And that means that this is going to be an immigration push.
So let me get this right. And how many of us have heard of a lot of Latinos being in Chicago? An immigration push. So let me get this right. Y'all have expanded ISIS operations. Y'all have given them a base over there in Chicago. And instead of this being, let me get this right. Instead of this being like it was in DC, going after the hoods, this is going to look more like immigration. Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening right now? If this don't tell you that blacks and Latinos is the target, I don't know what to tell you. And that's why it should be a push for some level of camaraderie. United we stand, divided we fall. It has to be some level of camaraderie. Of course, we don't have any fear. There's no fear at all. But what I'm saying here is we got to learn how to maneuver together.
So the plan here, as we understand it, is that this is going to surge immigration agents to Chicago. The potential for the National Guard deployment would be for a peacekeeping effort. The White House in Los Angeles had previously said that the role of the National Guard was really to ensure that these agents can carry out their immigration duties effectively and safely. The city is doing whatever they can to try to stop this ahead of time, John. And law enforcement here will admit that there's just and city leaders here will admit there's just not a lot that they can do. The Illinois Attorney General has made clear he cannot file a lawsuit preemptively. Meanwhile, Brandon Johnson, as you had mentioned, signed an executive order reaffirming the city's steps in reaction to this. So it directs city officials not to.
Do y'all see this? Homicides down 35, shootings 26, robberies 26, car thefts 21. You know, how are they able to literally manufacture crisis while simultaneously giving us the facts? I mean, the level of ideological subversion is uncanny. Whatever type of manipulation they're playing on the people, I don't understand how you can support this. And I'm talking to MAGA and all of these people out there. How could you support this? And I'm gonna be honest. If they sit back and watch the blacks and Latinos get raided and destroyed and targeted, listen, the rest of middle America, you're gonna get what you deserve. And guess what? We're gonna be living like Hunger Games. All the tribes, all the tribal people will be living like Hunger Games while middle America is getting engaged in your 15-minute smart mobility cities. Y'all gonna be trapped. Y'all gonna be in there getting the mark of the beast while we figure out how to navigate, come together, and move accordingly. Get some agriculture done. Become more self-sufficient. Become more family-oriented. Network. Have some camaraderie. We're gonna move like that while middle America and those who got selfish energy, let them stay right there in them cities. Because it's not going to look too well. It ain't going to look too well by 2027, 2028, for sure. For sure. Let's go to them scriptures real quick. We're going to go back to this, but I got to read this. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand, and they covet fields and take them by violence. This is about taking territory. This is about intimidation. This is about conquest. This is what the Romans, or the white, let's just call them this. This is what the white supremacists have always done. They gentrify at will, and they doing this in a country that don't even belong to them. We're the foundation of the country. That's right. They go to lands that don't belong to them and tell people where they can be. Shift it around, move it around. Why? Because it's in their power and their hand to do it. Nothing righteous about it. It's just the powers in their hand to do it. And they do it by violence. They don't know no other way but send some military troops into the streets. And a lot of the troops, a lot of the veterans, a lot of the troops, word on the streets, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. If you look at some of these ICE agents, some of them, not the ones that got their faces covered, not the ones who not even probably U.S. citizens. A lot of them ones that got their face covered, they some big old Russians. Russian collusion. That's what I call it. They ain't got no badge number, no nothing. Those are foreign soldiers. I believe they're foreign soldiers that don't have a horse in the race. And they over here patrolling these communities. But some of these people out here, some of the veterans out there, you look at their faces, they're not happy being out there. They don't want to be doing that. They're just doing as they told. They're not happy being out there. That's not what they signed up for. They didn't sign up to be engaging the citizens they swore oath to protect. No.
Engage with federal officials as they carry out these actions. Specifically, the Chicago Police Department is not to partake in any of these actions. City offices need to look for legal and legislative efforts to try to stop this. Meanwhile,
the Chicago Police Department cannot participate in any of these operations. So what I believe is happening is they're calling this some immigration, but that's not what this is. Something very ominous is amiss. Something is very dark and sinister taking place with these troops. Now, I want y'all to think about this. They now can carry guns. All of a sudden, they now can carry weapons. They're going to Chicago for immigration. And this time, here's the difference. This time they get a base and the police can't get involved. Can anybody see how crazy this is? Is anybody seeing the tyranny yet? I sure miss the old Alex Jones. I sure do miss the old Alex Jones. He would have had a damn field day on this. So I guess I got to take the ranks and really uncover what's happening here. This is the martial law that we've been talking about for years, but they're doing it race specific. This martial law is Jacob's trouble written of in the Bible.
Governor J.B. Pritzker, who has publicly sparred with President Trump, who has drawn the president's ire by name, is firing back. Here are some very terse words from J.B. Pritzker on this potential immigration deployment.
No one in the administration, the president or anybody under him, has called anyone in my administration and me have not called the city of Chicago or anyone else. So it's clear that in secret they're planning this. Well, it's an invasion with U.S. troops if they in fact do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The crime situation here is
It's an invasion.
we just had some
And I doubt anybody can protest it.
crime stats up. I want to walk you through that a little bit more, because what the leaders here say is that Chicago represents a success story. They've been able to effectively bring down major crime categories in double digits. However, as you saw President Trump point out, they had a really violent weekend in Chicago over Labor Day weekend. 24 people shot, several people killed. So there is, you can make data say a lot of things, John. And for the Trump administration, it is representative of a major problem here. However, leaders here look at the crime drop as a success story.
Yeah, the data in the middle of the political debate right now. Whitney Wild for us in Chicago, thank you very much. Diana?
All right, joining me now is CNN senior political analyst Ron Brownstein. He's written a CNN analysis about the messaging from Democrats against the president, including his threats to send National Guard troops to more U.S. cities. It's titled, "This One Word Captures the Most Important Division Among Democrats." And not to spoil too much, but that word is distraction. So tell us more what you mean about that.
So I guess on the Democratic side that they're calling it a distraction. A distraction from what? I don't know.
One important word, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the one word is distraction. When the Democratic congressional leaders like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries criticize Trump's actions in terms of threatening democracy or deploying troops to U.S. cities, they almost invariably, Bianna, describe it as a distraction from something else, whether it's Epstein, Medicaid cuts, inflation. That infuriates a whole other camp of Democrats who believe that the deployment of troops to U.S. cities, the other steps Trump has taken to kind of corrode the foundations of democratic safeguards in the U.S. aren't a distraction. They are the central front.
Yeah, I don't know who on the Democratic side is saying that it's a distraction. No, this is the main thing we need to be talking about. And the reason why Trump did these initiatives on Labor Day weekend, because he wanted to kind of slip under the radar. No, listen, people barbecuing right now would be the distraction. That would be the distraction. Right now, this is pivotal information. It's pivotal. I'm telling you. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth or the land. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. See, they're going to go down like the Chaldeans, keep messing with God's people. All that pride and dignity. All this violence, all this conquest. They're going to face the repercussions for these actions. And that's why Trump is over there bloated with bloated ankles and bruises and blood clots, them blood thinners that he's been on for all these years are coming back to, really destroy him. That's why all of this is happening. He's trying to get his big bang off. And you got videos of Trump talking about he hope he goes to heaven and all of that. Look. Listen, let me explain something to you. Some of y'all might not like how this sounds, what I'm about to say. But listen, it doesn't matter. With Trump's position of power in that White House, in the age of information, with all that is known, if he not giving the Most High's people their reparations and putting them back where they belong, and acknowledging these people for who they are and making a serious change, he ain't going to no, listen, he ain't going to no heaven. Ain't no heaven. You're not entering no heaven. Yeah, you could just X that out the equation. You got the highest office in the world. And what he's did with that office is target God's people, trying to create a utopia out of America. He made it seem like these so-called minorities are the problem and the issue, and the homeless is the issue, and we got to clean that up, and America will be blessed. That's what he thinks in his mind. He believes that's the solution. He wants all blacks to take blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, all these so-called marginalized groups to be wiped out pretty much. And he thinks that's going to make America great again. When the people who put these people in the conditions that they are in was never held accountable. They never repaid these people. They never lifted these people up. And he believes he has a chance to go to heaven. Nah, you're going to hell. Donald Trump is going to go to hell and MAGA's going to go with him. And I ain't anti-American for saying that. I'm telling y'all. And we gotta look, man. I'm telling y'all, man. This is getting real out here. It's getting real out here.
Of his second term, and J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, I think, would be the leaders in that camp. And it really is a divide. Do you want to run against Trump fundamentally on the price of eggs? Or do you want to focus the public on the things that he is doing that very much depart from our tradition? You know, the idea of armored troops in multiple American cities.
Yep, the idea alone sounds crazy. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us spare not the widow, nor reverence the ancient graves of the age. That's what's going on in America. They don't care about the veterans. They don't care about the people who fought for this country. And I'm going to say under the Trump administration, I'm going to word it that way based on the information that I have. My question is, why is Donald Trump un-American? Why is he un-American? Why? Because the most un-American thing you could do is allow Doge that was ran by Elon Musk to come in and execute DEI cuts on veterans that fought for your country. You know, Elon being an Afrikaner, coming over here and being able to utilize Doge against our veterans. That sounds un-American. That's un-American. And y'all make sure y'all get the likes up. You know they got a shadow ban on the channel right now, but it's up to you all to break the shadow ban. So it's really in y'all's hands, the audience. But let's go.
Whatever the justification, whether it's justified on the grounds of immigration enforcement or crime, that is fundamentally alien from the American tradition. I mean, we have not seen troops in U.S. cities except at the moments of greatest civil disorder. We have a Posse Comitatus Act from the 19th century, which theoretically on paper bars the use of troops for domestic law enforcement. This is really an image that is more in common with authoritarian countries of troops in the streets of the biggest.
Yeah, we are under authoritarian government. It should be plain to see at this point. This is authoritarian, totalitarian government under martial law. The cities are under siege. They're under siege. And the more people sit back and allow it to happen without even vocalizing how disgruntled they are about it, I know that we got to be living in the last days. Because, bruh, the more I look at this and see what's happening, it's absolutely mind-boggling how nobody can see it. Somebody said, Bree, can you share the link? I'll go ahead and share that for y'all in case somebody want to join in and chop it up. I normally give the first hour just to do my thing, I've never used the share link on here, so we're gonna give it a try. I'm like I said, I'm utilizing new streaming software. So, but nonetheless, man, this is insane.
Cities. And so this is a very significant departure from the way the military has existed throughout our history. You have one group of Democrats who believe that is a fundamental issue facing us, another one that wants to talk primarily about Medicaid and tax cuts.
And at this point, it's not hypotheticals or threats. We've seen this actually happen in cities like Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and now it appears to be heading for Chicago as well. Secretary Noem saying that ICE resources are going to be deployed to that city with broader expansions, quote, on the table. So politically, what is the playbook here for the administration, Ron? And Chicago being the case study, as Whitney reported, they're planning for this to look a lot like what we saw in the streets of Los Angeles where you are right now.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, it's important to understand that the administration has been claiming in court the authority to do this everywhere and anywhere. That original executive order that authorized the deployment of the National Guard to LA did not specify LA or California. It said that the president would be justified to take control of the National Guard anywhere where there are protests against immigration enforcement.
Anywhere where there's protests against immigration enforcement, that he can use the National Guard. So y'all hear that? Protesting needs to stop, because that's a loophole that they're trying to use right there. Anywhere where there's protests against immigration enforcement, he can go send the National Guards. But I'm trying to find out what loophole did he find to even send them to Chicago. Nobody's out there marching. Yeah, I'm telling you, listen, these people are going to have hell to pay. Psalms 94 and 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law, They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. Ain't that what's happening? Ain't they using the law to go against the souls of the righteous? Ain't that what's happening right now in this country? Using the arm of the law? And y'all let me know that share link works. If anybody tried it and it didn't work, let me know. Let's go.
Or where protests could reasonably be expected to develop. And simultaneously in court in California, they are arguing that the Posse Comitatus Act, which is the 19th century law barring the use of the military for domestic law enforcement, essentially is toothless. Courts cannot order any remedy. The only remedy is a criminal prosecution. A court cannot require the administration not to deploy troops. So they are basically saying they can do this wherever they want. We'll see whether the courts agree. Now, I think the fundamental issue here is, what is this about? Is this fundamentally about fighting crime, or is it about numbing Americans to an image that, as I said, is alien to our history and much more common in authoritarian countries, of troops in the streets of our big cities?
Yeah, it's going to become a normal thing. And people are being conditioned to accept it. Seeing military actually patrolling the streets. Let me see. I see a brother shares Baruch in the chat. It says Baruch 4:33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Yep. That's what's happening to the harlot. That's what's happening right now. Because make no mistake about it, God is not to be mocked. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. And the seeds they're planting of destruction, they're going to reap every bit of them. And I'm going to proclaim that. Look at that. Psalms 37:13. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. Yeah. The Most High is going to laugh at their calamity. He going to laugh when their judgment is made known publicly. And there shall be shouting in the streets. The righteous are going to rejoice. The righteous are going to rejoice. When the scriptures already tell you that when the wicked perish, the righteous rejoice. And that's how it's going to go down. When we see these great kings fall and these great kings get judged by God Almighty, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the people are going to rejoice. Yeah. And the Lord's going to laugh at these devils who carry out these wicked decrees.
Voters trust Trump more than Democrats on crime. Whether they are willing to see troops patrolling the streets of multiple American cities, setting up checkpoints that people have to go through, as they have had at points in D.C., I think that is a very different political question.
Well, quickly, Governor Pritzker says this is part of Trump's plan to stop the election, the midterms in 2026, or, quote, to frankly take control of those elections. Do you think he's right?
I think they are, as I said, numbing American to the image of troops in the streets of cities, something that is completely alien to our history, except at the moments of greatest, threat, like major civil disorder. The last time, to do this, Biani, he will have to federalize the National Guard over the objection of the governor of Illinois.
He's creating ICE. He's creating black ICE, essentially. That's what he's doing. And they're going to have the right to do whatever he gives them the authority to do. This ICE operation expansion is very, very daunting, right? It's daunting. I tell my people all the time, get out of the major cities. If you can, make a way out. At least start making your way out. And start learning certain things. If you can learn how to plant some seeds, a garden, even start in your backyard. Start, even if you in the city, you have to step it up and learn certain things, certain survival skills. Because I mean, the way this country is looking, man, and this is escalating so quick. Trump ain't even been in office that long. I can't see them letting they get their foot off the pedal. I can't see them doing that. By 2028, America's going to look totally different. By 2028, I'm telling you, you don't want to be living in a city. All the movies that we've seen, they're going to be true. Purge movies, Purge Election Day, that movie comes to mind. Minority Report comes to mind. Let me see. Is there guests here? Let me see here. No. Yeah, y'all have to let me know whether or not the link works or not. Okay, they froze the chat, so let me move that.
As they did in California, we haven't seen that since the heyday of the civil rights era, when Southern segregationists were actively impeding the enforcement of federal law. And I think once you make that a routine reflex, anything is on the table and possible.
Yeah, anything on the table now. Yeah, hey, listen, they're losing their freedoms, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Man, let me go here. Psalms 9:9. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed. A refuge in times of trouble. This is why we got to turn to the Most High. I don't know what your circumstances may be, but I want y'all to hear me out. I know that we're living in the times of a lot of uncertainty. I know that some of us out here living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to scrounge by, make ends meet, and survive. You're living in a time just like the prophets. Things are uncertain. but only in the Messiah, only in the one they call Jesus Christ, we can find some level of solitude, some level of understanding that nothing here is promised, and that you have to put your focus on spiritual matters. Because through that, you will have the direction needed to maneuver appropriately. You will have the Holy Spirit there to help you navigate through these tumultuous times. When you're not leaning on your own understanding, when you have faith. Now, I got more scriptures for you. Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the light hand of my righteousness. That's right. The Most High will uphold us. Even when things look dismal, even when it's looking gloomy, ladies and gentlemen, the Most High is going to uphold us. But we can't, in order for him to be able to be our support system, we can't live in fear. Fear got to go away. You cannot be a believer in Christ and be afraid. Christ was very austere. And Christ wasn't nice. When he was flipping those money changes over, that wasn't nice. When he went and called the Pharisees and scribes to their face and said, ye of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you shall do, and he was a liar from the beginning, that wasn't nice. He wasn't passive. Do you know how he would have spoke right now in an authoritarian government? Some of the men of Judah have been, in this day and age now, have been castrated, it seems. They're afraid to stand on anything. They're afraid to speak. They don't have no conviction. So all of the men, we got to be ready to speak on these matters and be bold about it. And not be running around fearful, because tomorrow ain't promised anyway. You can't say you are of Christ and you're not adhering to his way of life. Christ was bold. Christ was the Lion of Judah, the King of Kings. This government, these nations as we know it, he's going to judge these nations and wear the crown of every nation. And it will be blood on his garment as if he was treading the winepress. That's what the scriptures say. And these people are going to be gnashing of teeth, burning. These people are going to be put in the lake of fire for the evil that they're doing to his people, to his tribes. You take the word Los Angeles. We know who started Los Angeles. We know who was there. But they want to gentrify. After these people built up a lot of the highways, a lot of the construction jobs, a lot of the agricultural jobs, which, by the way, Trump is planning to pass another bill to bring some of those illegals back to do what? Work on them farms. But after they done with these people, they packed them up and they sent them away. While they was on a construction site, nobody wasn't worried about no damn green card. Why? Because they were more concerned with cheap labor. Texas once belonged to the Mexicans. But guess what? Guess what the conquerors did? They reneged on their deals like they always do. And y'all already know how they did the foundational Black Americans, the ones who was already here, by the way. Not to mention the ones who was brung on cargo slave ships, but that's only a few. A lot of the ones on ships got brung to the islands. But the ones who were here and the ones that were brung over, you already know what they did to us because they still stomping down on us. Yeah, we're not supposed to sit complacent. If Christ was walking the earth right now, he would be going in on everything. If you thinking Jesus Christ will be behind what Trump is doing to the poor, to the needy, to the veterans who fought for the country, if you think Jesus Christ will stand behind that, I don't know what Jesus Christ you serving, but it ain't the God of, it ain't the it ain't the Messiah of the Bible. See, these white Christians are serving another God. They serving another Christ. That must be Caesar Borgia. That gotta be Caesar Borgia with a damn Hulk Hogan shirt on and a damn Make America Great Again cap. Cause it damn sure ain't the Messiah in the book. He wouldn't have been for this. Yeah, Christ coming back for war, for bloodshed, and for vengeance. He not coming back to sing Kumbaya. He not coming back for world peace. What Bible y'all read? I read the book of Revelations. He said, look, I saw no one to help me out. I'm finna tread the wine press on these people. It's going to be a bloodbath when Christ returns. It's going to literally be a slaughter when Christ returns. One day I'm just going to have to go into the scriptures and show y'all all of that. The Bible says it's going to be a terrible day. A terrible day. He's not coming back to play with these people. And anytime you speak any messages of righteousness and truth, they call that hate speech. This is too rough. I can't take this. It's tough for my ears to digest. What you think you're going to do when Christ return? And the sun ain't giving off no light. And you hear them trumpets blowing. And you see the saints come marching in, dragging these damn warmongers and these devils out of these caves, bringing them down from out the woods and out of caves and go down to them damn $1 trillion underground tunnels they got. What you think gonna happen then? Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. They ain't gonna be able to hide nowhere. Why do you think that we supposed to speak bold as lions? Why do you think we want all the smoke? Because we already know what the Messiah gonna do to these people. Let's talk about it. It's judgment coming to the nations, man. Hold on. Let's talk about it. Jeremiah 22:3. Thus saith the Lord, execute ye judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor. And do no wrong. Do no violence to the stranger, the fatherless, nor the widow, neither shed innocent blood in this place. That ain't what they did when they came and conquered America. See, this scripture right here is a double entendre. This scripture is telling us, thus saith the Lord, execute ye judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Delivering the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor. How are we going to do that when a lot of Judah running around neutered, scared to say the wrong thing? How are we going to do that when some of Judah sitting out here not wanting to speak up? because they're too comfortable. What we gonna do if we so comfortable in our civil liberties and our luxuries and our devices and our TVs and whatever else we got, and we're not even gathering ourselves together? How are we supposed to deliver the spoil out of the hands of the oppressor, and we won't even unite and build something on our own? Because people want to be stuck in comfort in their comfort zone. See, that's why these things got to happen. The Most High has, listen, he's using these people to push us out of our comfort zone. That's why it's going to keep getting worse. It's going to be a real test. And I'm not talking about just physical. It's going to be a lot of spiritual warfare. It's going to be a lot of spiritual warfare for all of us. And we're going to have to really get our minds right. We're going to have to get our fasting life right and our prayer life right. And we're going to have to be on point, and we're going to have to cut off people that are really serving us no purpose in our walk with Christ. They got to go. Them people got to go. You're not going where we going. They can't go. Whatever sin you battling with, give it up. It ain't worth it. See, that's what stops a lot of people from transitioning to actually building with their people, is because there's certain things they don't want to let go. And the version of themselves that they're at is the version that of themselves that's lukewarm. 1 foot in with the world and 1 foot in the truth. But if you want to go full-fledged and go all in, you have to step out of that, because there is people that you're going to need to be around. You don't want to be a person who's by yourself when all this happens. You don't want to be that. But you got to leave that whole life behind before you can make that transition. A lot of people don't want to give that up. It's time to clean house. This stuff ain't no joke. Every day we see prophecy coming true. It's time to be like the ant, not the sluggard. And that's why we working behind the scenes, taking care of a lot of things, making provisions. Why? The scripture said make provisions. It says, thus saith the Lord, execute ye judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor. Some people out here are spoiled in the wrong way. How are they spoiled? They spoiled by the devices. They spoiled by comfort zones. They spoiled by what? They spoiled by entertainment. They spoiled by drama. They spoiled by Uber Eats, DoorDash. The Lord said, deliver the spoiled. Deliver the spoil out of the hands of the oppressor. Guess what? You know why that's a difficult task? Because the spoiled don't know they're oppressed. A lot of the spoiled don't know that they are oppressed. Why? Because they gave you everything you need. Easily accessible. They got some buildings in New York. Some of the tenement buildings in New York got everything. Got grocery stores in the building, the gym. It got a movie theater, everything. So guess what? All they gotta do is put some troops around the projects, and you ain't going nowhere. They already got the fences with the barbed wires. Yeah, you stay right there. Let me fatten you up for the slaughter. No, you can't be like that in 2025 going on 2026. No, you got to be ready. Look, you got to be ready to maneuver. Yeah, when you spoil rotten, it's difficult. It's a difficult task to get the spoiled rotten out of the hands of their oppressor when they don't know they oppressed, or they know it in the back of their mind, but they fight against whoever is trying to wake them up. Like, hey, wake up. You are oppressed. You hear people all the time, slavery went away, 400. Y'all not in cuffs no more. I mean, y'all not in chains no more. Slavery. You don't see that it's slavery still? What you think the prison pipeline is? That's slavery. Slavery ain't going nowhere. What you think it is when we work and we got to work paycheck to paycheck with all this misappropriated wealth, and the rich they got billions and trillions of dollars, and the poor continue to be taxed on everything. You get taxed on your paycheck, you get taxed for the food you buy, you get taxed for the gas you get. And then you have to do your taxes and pay taxes for everything that you already paid taxes for. What are we talking about? That's modern day slavery. That's a system designed where you cannot elevate. And then look, if you make just a little too much, but not as much as the uber rich, then we're going to find ways to confiscate that money. So through the tax system. Now let's send the IRS and get them for tax evasion. What are we talking about? How can you be comfortable in that? That should be very uncertain. But it's a strong delusion. Yeah, you get taxed for being taxed. You got to pay the person who did the taxes. You just got taxed for being taxed. Tax on tax on tax on tax. And then check this out. Then you get taxed on a paycheck. That you get taxed on the paycheck you got to pay taxes on every damn thing you buy. You can't make it up, y'all. That's oppression. Check this out. You even got to get taxed for paying your bills. You know that's a $20 tax to pay your bill? Come on now, damn it. We're going to be taxed for breathing one day. You took up too much oxygen in here. We're gonna need to put some taxes out. How can we be comfortable with that? No, I want fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. I want to go into my garden around people that I love and trust and live somewhere off grid. I don't care if it's 4 or 5 families. Long as we all got what we need, I'm good. I'd rather live off grid. And then it's super weird outside. The energy is off. People are off. I'm good. I'd rather be around my tight-knit community somewhere off grid. And then when I need to go into certain places, then I navigate. That's how I run. Listen, the closer I get to the Most High, the more I want to live like that. The more I put away the old man, the way I put away sin, the more I put away my old habits, the more I fast, the more I pray, the more I change, the more I don't want to be in these cities, the more I don't want to be around a lot of people, the more I want to be around God's people. I would love to be around all the people in my chat, embracing them. Because the fact that y'all sticking around and I see y'all in the chat just chopping it up with me, I know that these are my kind of people. I'd rather be around y'all. But as I was saying, man, let's go back to these scriptures because we cooking right now. We are cooking. I want to go to Revelations 18. Well, we got to break down Jeremiah in the totality. It says, and do no wrong or do no violence to the stranger, the fatherless, nor the widow, neither shed innocent blood. America's, under the Trump administration, we can't say that they doing that. We can't say that they keeping this word. We can't say that they got fundamental Christian values. We can't say that. I want to go to Revelations. Revelations 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not in her plagues. Come out of her, my people. That's what them scriptures say. Come out of her. Come out of her emotionally. Don't be like Lot's wife and look back. Come out of her mentally. And when it's time, you come out of her physically too. Given the opportunity. Somebody, let me see. What is this they shared? Old school rules. You know, she always coming with the scriptures. She says, she shares, Jesus disarmed the Colossians. 2:15 describes how through his death on the cross, Christ disarmed and defeated the spiritual powers of evil, making a public spectacle of them. Absolutely. But make sure you share scripture word for word, verbatim. But thank you for that. But you're right. You're right. Christ also told us when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, when you see them compassed with armies, flee off into the mountains. Now, you know, Jerusalem is symbolic to anywhere our people are concentrated. Anytime you see any place surrounded by armies, you got to know that something is amiss. Like in 70 AD with Vespasian and his son Titus. When they surrounded Jerusalem by armies, they did it the same way they doing it now. One day we're going to do a whole breakdown. And it got rough. It got real bad. I only want to talk about some of the horrendous things that was happening within the confines of these villages. But once they compassed it with armies, it wasn't no going nowhere. That's why it's so eerie that these people are setting up bases in Chicago. They gave them an old naval facility. King Connect, my brother. Thanks for the support. 1 Corinthians 2:9. I have written not, it says, pardon me, but as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of a man, the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. Wow. That means what the Most High God prepared for us is unimaginable. We can't even describe what our salvation gonna look like. Our deliverance from our captivity in ancient Egypt, what the Most High got for us, listen, it's gonna pale in comparison. It's gonna be like a penny in a room full of gold. Let's go to the scriptures. Let's go to them. Isaiah 59:14. And judgment is turned away backwards, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the streets, and equity cannot enter. Now let's stop there for a second. Truth has fallen in the streets, and equity cannot enter because of what they're doing. This country is not going to be great. This place is not going to be financially blessed for middle America. No, they're going to put an even tighter squeeze on, because the way you treating the indigenous folks shows you everything you need to know. The way you treat your veterans, the way you treat the homeless, the way you treat the elders should show middle America everything they need to know. And it says, and judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. There's no justice. This ain't justice. What you see taking place in America right now is not justice. Because why? The truth has fallen in the streets. Nobody want to hear the truth. Nobody want to really stand behind the truth. They want their ears tickled. And the reason being is because they don't want to change. And when you hear the truth, you know change is required of you. A lot of people don't want to make that change. It's complacency. They don't want to do it. They want to remain in that sin. They want to stay lukewarm. They want to hear the word, but they don't want to be doers of the word. So truth has fallen in the streets. It said, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. Why is that? Because we talk about this all the time. Keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, but nobody ever says judgment. Why nobody never say keep his laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments? Because that's what the scriptures say. That means we're supposed to be judging situations. But what is this scriptures talking about? And what I mean by judging the situations, meaning within our people, we're supposed to be able to cast people out. We're supposed to be able to cancel people, which the children of the Most High are gaining that back, by the way. They are gaining that back. That's why all the FBAs are sticking together, delineating when it's time to write somebody off. Very successful with doing that, which means we're actually judging matters in some degree as of late, which I love to see it. I love to see it. But it says when you depart from evil, you make yourself a prey. It means you make yourself a target. So what does that mean? The mass majority of evil. If y'all wonder why y'all been targeted individuals in y'all communities and enduring, going through gang stalking, organized mobbing. Matter of fact, let me full screen myself. Let's take this away. If you wonder why you've been going through these things, it's because you've departed from evil. It's because you departed from evil. Let's go. And look, and guess what? It says, and the Lord saw it, and it displeased him. There was no judgment. Ezekiel 22 and 25. There is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious thing. They have made her many widows in the midst of her. So there's a conspiracy going on with the prophets, the children of the Most High. You know, you see what these people are doing. They taking advantage of the people. You got this pastor who was just arrested not too long ago. If y'all know that pastor's name, it was David something, man. He got human trafficking slapped on him. I mean, this guy had these people in the church locked in working free of charge, slave labor. Human, like I'm telling you, when I say when the scriptures say it's a conspiracy among the so-called prophets, it is. Yo, Jody Breeze, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. I'm telling you. It is written. It is written. Lamentations 3 and 34. To crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. And that's what's happening right now. They have turned man from facing to the Most High. They try to subvert a man's cause. And I'm gonna tell you, all of the people who do that, oh, you got a lot to pay for. When you trying to subvert righteous causes, when you trying to stop a righteous word from getting put out, because you don't have the courage yourself to stand on code and stand on business and be bold. For you to try to stop another man's purpose in the Most High, oh, you got to deal with that. Oh, you got to deal with it. Oh, and there's a lot of people who are going to be dealing with that. Trust and believe. Let's go there. I got a couple more scriptures for y'all. Y'all let me know by show of ones if y'all want me to just keep on cooking, man. Oh, that's my brother Tony. My brother Tony with the support. Somebody, what does he say here? The VA messed up with me. Oh, yeah, they messed up because this brother right here, Tony, got courage. We had this brother, a former ex-federal employee, got on New Breed Global Truth, and he spoke the truth. And you can tell that that brother is very passionate about putting this message out there. And trust to believe, y'all gonna see us work together again. Trust me. And y'all gonna see a lot of very, very popular guests. There's gonna be some guests on the show, man. Y'all gonna be shocked. Y'all gonna be like, man, how did y'all work that out? Because it's a lot of people out there who ready to speak the truth about what's going on. Because there's a lot of people unhappy about what's going on. Trust me. And y'all, and I know y'all really enjoy my interviews. Y'all really enjoy the interviews. And y'all know that numbers have been a little bit lower as late. They're coming back up though. And that's because y'all know I'm fairly new to political analysis. But it's a field that I'm rapidly growing in. I'm learning more every single day. And I'm passionate about it. So you're going to see me keep on pushing the truth, because when you know what's going on politically and geopolitically, you can really quantify what's taking place on a global scale as well as what's taking place prophetically. And you mix the history in with that, you already know. We got a concoction. We got a concoction that's very effective, y'all. So look, let me go back here. Let's get to them scriptures. Y'all said y'all want me to keep cooking. We're going to do it. Long as y'all talking in the chat, keeping the engagement up. We got to have that engagement up. Then we going to go. We going to go in. I want to read Psalms 37:14. The wicked have drawn out their sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and the needy. Oh, come on. I know y'all see it. Let's read that again. The wicked have drawn out their sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and the needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own hearts, and their bow shall be broken. Say what? Y'all hear what that scripture said? Oh yeah, y'all got your bows bit. Y'all outside the hood. Y'all got the tanks. You got the shotguns. You got the M4s. You got all that. You got the tactical gear on. You just ready. You just watching. You just lurking. Oh, that's going in your own heart. Y'all gonna die on that sword. Keep playing with the Most High's people. We ain't scared of y'all. We ain't got to do nothing. We ain't even got to lift a finger. We ain't even got to lift a finger. All we got to do is follow our God. That's it. All we got to do is be praying. All we got to do is be fasting. All we got to do is do what he told us to do and gather ourselves together. All we got to do is stay amongst the righteous, because when there's no counsel, the people fall. When there's no leadership, when there's no righteous counsel, the people fall. There ain't no righteous counsel in these cities. Even though you got some of the mayors speaking out in different cities, I'm apprehensive to trust them too. Some of them are boule. Some of them are just playing the role on the media. Some of them are just on the media to play along with the Hegelian dialect. They act like they're giving some pushback. And some of them could very well be trying to get pushback. The point I'm making is we relying on a creator. We relying on a creator, not man. And we battle not against flesh and blood either, but wickedness and principalities in high places. And the Bible tells us the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Yeah, the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. Let's go into it. Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. They pray, depart of not. The prey depart of not. It says, woe to the bloody city. Woe. See, a lot of their prey, the ones they're preying on, they won't depart. They pray depart of not, meaning they stuck in there. They like somebody who got their foot caught in a bear trap. They locked in. But the righteous get it. The righteous get it. Yeah, we got more scriptures. Let me see some flame emojis in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, because we cooking. While they out there celebrating Labor Day and barbecuing, we out here barbecuing in here. We barbecuing right now. Put them flame emojis in the chat. Keep that engagement up. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Yeah, you got these devils out here trying to claim we anti-American. I see them claiming that we evil. Woe unto you. Woe unto those who call good evil and evil good. What this administration is doing is not good. It's not righteous. It ain't righteous judgment. You take $80 million out of law enforcement to militarize cities and engage our people. And who in the world can think that's righteous? Only a devil would think that's righteous. Nothing righteous about that. Yeah, I don't celebrate none of the holidays. I don't get involved with that. I get it, but you know. LS Warrior, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Let's go. Let's go into them scriptures, man. Exodus 22:21. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, and ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Now, some of the Christian community, they mess this scripture up. They use it to fit the narrative that Trump is not treating the stranger right. When actuality, they're the strangers is the people who came over here and took this land. You know, the colonizers are the real strangers, but it says, nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. And that's actually speaking to us, the children of Israel. That's who this scripture is directed towards. The tribes, meaning if we have our land, we're not to oppress the strangers. If they want to enter into our gates, let's say everything hit the fan, we break down in the tribes, or we come together as tribes, whatever the case may be, and we may be off in the distance, the stranger would be the Gentiles. So if the Gentiles would want to be among us, we are not to oppress them. We are not to put white people in chains and use their babies as gator bait. And we're not to do that. We don't believe in nothing like that. We are not these demonic white supremacist colonizers who took the world by storm and by sword and by utter conquest and destruction. We're not them. We don't get down like that. We actually have humility for people. So that's what that scripture is talking about, because, you know, we got context is everything. Although, you know, they shouldn't have been treating our Mexican brothers and sisters the way they treated them either. But nonetheless, let's continue. But let me say this: a lot of the Mexicans who got deported, a good deal of them was not even a good deal with them. Let's not talk about them. Let's talk about those those Latinos for Trump, because that's going to be right up Tony's alley. One day off the vertical stream, we're going to bring Tony in, and he just going to go in on all the Latinos for Trump, because him and I see it the same way. They got exactly, you know, what they deserved. That portrayal that they got is what they deserve. Why? Because they were trying to pass as white. They had a lot of self-hatred. They didn't want to stick with the foundational Black Americans. No, they looked down on us too. The Spanish, the Latino people who are anti-Black, meaning they don't like the color Black, which Tony brung that out. The skin color. No, those are the very same people that looked at us crazy, although foundational Black Americans was building this place so they can have an opportunity to come over here and reap the benefits. So they got exactly what they deserve, and Tony and I agree on that. But what I mean to say is Tony wants to have a meeting with, like, Tony ready to he want all the smoke. He want to smoke with MAGA. We all want all the smoke. The whole team wants smoke. Everybody connected to New Breed Global Truth. All of the platforms that, you know, we connected with. Shout out to y'all. We want all that smoke. But y'all, and I'm gonna say this too: some of y'all platforms, y'all got to start throwing some mentions in there, some video reactions. Look, tag me in those things. Let's start talking about these matters. We're addressing the real important matters. Let's put it out there on social media. And don't just be hearing stuff over here, take it and run with it without at least shouting out the person that you got it from, right? That's just respect. Now, I promise you I'll treat you the same way. Now, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 24:14. Thou shalt not oppress an hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy stranger, that are in the land within thy gates. Another commandment given to us, that we shall not oppress an hired servant that is poor and needy. You think America is adhering to this? No. Whether he be of thy brethren or of thy stranger. Meaning, if we had our own, this is why I say when a righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. Because if we have our own land, our own country, our own nation, these are the rules we're abiding by. I don't care what color you are. If you poor and needy and you've been hired, I'm not going to oppress you. Doe Eyes, I see you in the building. Shout out to Doe Eyes. I seen your reaction video, and I appreciate you. We need more creators speaking up on these matters. We need more reactions on these matters. We need more talks about what's going on politically and geopolitically. Yeah, somebody said, if you Latino or Hispanic and don't mess with Black people, I can't mess with you. Exactly. That is my sentiments as well. And when it comes to people, you got to treat each person based on who they are personally. If you are rocking with us, then you can rock with us. But there's going to have to be a lot of communication. There's going to have to be a lot of talking that goes on, which we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let me see here. Let's go to the next one. We got Amos 5 and 12. For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just. They take a bribe, and they turn aside the poor in the gate of thy right. What y'all think happening to all the poor people that's out there? You know how many homeless veterans there are that are hungry after fighting for the nation, after fighting for the country, after losing limbs? You know how many people got denied their benefits? If you know a veteran right now, share this video to the veterans. If you got a auntie, a uncle, a brother, a sister who been done dirty by the military, share this video to them. Let them know that there's people who are fighting on their behalf and there's people who care about their well-being. Let them know that we got a brother who's a former VA employee, who's been on CNN, who's been on Fox News. He's been in the midst of Nancy Pelosi. He's been side by side with Josh Jacobs. We got somebody that we can plug you into, and he can give you all the information you need to make sure you don't lose your benefits and you get your benefits. All y'all got to do to find that information out is go watch my last live stream. The thumbnail looks a little something like this. This is the thumbnail on the video you need to click on. Just go on the channel and go do your research. I think it was the last live stream or maybe the one before, but this image right here, this is the image you're looking for. Go run the numbers up on that video, especially if you're a veteran. Josh Jacobs, he has control over 80,000. I mean, not 80,000, pardon me. Over 80 million veterans. And when it comes to their benefits, yep. Now we're gonna do a quick poll here on this stream too, because I'm working out some details. Like I said, I'm using new stream software, and I want to do a poll real quick to make sure everything is functioning properly. So when I get this poll set up, I want you all to participate who's watching. Yep. Let's go back to these scriptures. Zechariah 7 and 9. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, execute true judgment and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, nor the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in his heart. We're not supposed to be, let's get this out the way. We're not supposed to be oppressing the poor and the needy. That's wicked. We're not supposed to be doing that. Let me see. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to let me know if the link worked. Can somebody try clicking on the invite link for me? Just like I said, it's new software I'm using, and I want to make sure everything is right. So please, y'all, help me out, participate. First time using it. Let me use that. Let's troubleshoot real quick and see if this works. And then it's something else I want to test too. And originally, man, while I was upgrading devices and signing up for the software, I was just gonna come on here and just chop it up with y'all. But look how we didn't turn this into a full-blown lesson and start cooking. Somebody said, where's the link? It's right there up top. I'm gonna see if I can do a poll too. I want to know how to do polls on here. I really don't even see the option, but let me just check real quick. I might have to do this on the back end and do it next time. But what I want you all to do, because we coming across, let me see. And also, look, if y'all want to support Tony Ruiz, who came on the show, y'all can support his GoFundMe. You can also find that on that video. That information is there. I want y'all to go run the numbers up on that and go over there and you will see his links. All right. Let's see. Somebody says copy the link into Safari and it works. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Perhaps okay. All right, I'm gonna set up this poll. I figured out how to do it. So y'all just give me a quick moment. All right. Control room. Okay, we got that. Yeah, I might have to come back because yeah, this is new to me. This is all new to me. And I don't want to waste y'all's time. This is all too new to me. I've never even used that part, so I'm gonna have to wait. Y'all sorry about that. I'll do the poll next time because I can't. It's just too nuanced for me. I never used that, and it's a lot going on this screen right here. I would have thought it would have been right there on the chat section, but it's not. Nah. All right, I'll work on that on the back end. Next time I'll be ready for y'all though. But what I do want to say is, man, we coming across our time. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support the show, if you want to sponsor the show, ladies and gentlemen, right there is my Cash App link. Like I told you, I work against the algorithm in order to keep the show new, fresh, continue to really bring y'all new stuff, new graphics, editing videos, all of that. It's going to take some sponsorship, y'all. And look, and if you don't want to just do Cash App to support the show, man, go ahead and just purchase something off the site. Right now, we got a sale on a Hebrew Heroes t-shirts, and it's high quality shirts, y'all. So we got the long sleeve and the short sleeve. So all you got to do is scan a QR code for Cash App, and somebody just scanned it. So it even shows you when somebody scanned it. That is cool. That is super cool. And what I'll do when you do scan these QR codes, I'll definitely shout y'all out. If I don't shout you out the time you do it, I always remember to do it the next stream. And I already see people clicking that link. Darren King, thank you for the support, as well as hold on, who else was that? I can't see it right now. But hopefully y'all not doing it just for a shout out. You're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. And you understand that, this show it goes against the grain, and it's a powerful show. and we want to support our own interest, right? But like you have two ways that you can sponsor this particular episode, right? And other than that, man, I just want to thank y'all. And if y'all gained from this, show your support. And there has been some people joining too. I seen people joining in the chat. This is kind of weird because I can see the notification that people join. Let me learn how to use it real quick. How do I let people in? Oh, okay. Is this it? No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to really play around with this thing. Hold on, y'all. I want to see how to let people in. 5 people have already scanned the QR code. Thank y'all for the support. Let me see. Yeah, it's weird. Is anybody in the chat right now? It's so weird because I can see a little emblem that shows that people have joined. I see their names, but I don't see them like on the other side where you can kind of see them in the background and stuff. All right, add the stream. Hey, what's up? Who is that? Yeah, it's weird. Is anybody in the chat right now? Oh no, you watching it from the background.
My bad, OG.
Emblem that shows that people have joined. You see their names, but I don't see them like
All praises.
on the other. Okay. All right. So this one's set up a little different. I can't really see who's in the queue like that. Oh yeah, I can. It's right there on the side. Okay, I see Rosie. Let's bring Rosie in. What's up, Rosie?
Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good. We spoken before, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, I think you was dropping some jewels too. I remember you.
Yeah. It's nice to talk to you again, brother.
You too. What you got for me today?
So, you spoke on earlier on in your live. You spoke on us coming together.
Hold on, before you do that, I'm hearing some echoes.
You hear echoes?
Yeah. Are you playing it in the background?
No, I got you. I got you. Yep, I got you. I'm gonna step out. How about now?
Yep, you loud and clear now.
Okay, so you spoke on us coming together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to come together. Yeah, we need each other. I understand though, because we all dealing with our personal hardships and spiritual warfare. But when Father said, he gonna gather us together, I believe as long as we're spiritually aligned, then we know what time it is. So yeah, you 100% correct. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's gonna take some changes. Like a lot of people got a lot of selfishness with them and they don't want to, sacrifice their time, energy, and all of that. But see, they misconstrue people of truth from people of the world. It's a different type of vibe. It's a different type of energy. When we've had our jamborees and our get-togethers, man, if there's anybody in the chat that have attended one, how it was. It was just refreshing. There was brothers and sisters that I hugged, and people cried. Like, damn, we don't never get around people who all see what's going on in the world. And it's like
for sure.
a bond. And that's just, we need more of that. And
for sure.
Absolutely. So no, we will be having more of that, like, in the near future. It's about the weather's breaking, it ain't too much hot outside no more. Hopefully we'll start doing more events. And these events, mind you, these events actually lead up to us building something for ourselves that we can call our own. Especially in a time like now where they got all white towns and all this other stuff. We need our own. Yeah, they can have it.
Right.
They can have them white tents, sundown, you can have that. But don't
Exactly.
but don't look at us weird like a church or a cult, like some type of cult church or whatever they look at it as when we want to build our own. No, we just need our own, just like y'all got your own. So
Exactly.
yep, that's real talk. But thank
Yeah.
you for joining. What you want to add
No,
anything?
thank you. No, thank you, brother. I just want to say thank you for always being obedient and doing exactly what the Father put on your spirit to do because we need it and there's a
Thank
lot of us who feel like we can do things on our own, but that's not what God will is. God will is for us to come together so that we
Absolutely.
can be one. So thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
And may God be with you.
You too. Let's
Peace
see.
out, brother.
All right, peace. Yeah, it's a blessed sister. Let me see. That's real talk though. We do need to come together. I seen Dre Static too hop in there. Let me see. What up, Dre?
What up, Bree?
Hey, what's going on? Is this Dre Static or
No, this is Andre Court.
oh my bad, my bad. I seen Dre there earlier. What up, D?
What up, man? I just want to thank
My
you on this
brother.
message tonight. And,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
just
This a man
keep
I
working
shook
with the
his
Father.
hand too. This a good brother, man. We met in person at one of the events. So it's cool that you jumped in here.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to help you out connecting with the new stream that you're doing here.
Okay.
And it's working clear. So
That's what's up.
yeah.
That's what's up.
But thank you for this message, Bree. You know, God is using you as a mouthpiece in this generation. And you've
Thank
really
you.
been a blessing to all of us. And bless you and your household, brother.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man.
So,
All
yes,
right.
sir.
Thank you,
Peace.
fam. Peace. All right, see. Let me see if I can. All right, cool. Yeah, this thing is working pretty good. I'm just getting used to the little nuances. Real soon I'll be real quick at it. Michael, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, like I ever told you like this weird story. Like I had like this weird story, man. Like
Yeah. What's going on with that? What happened, bro?
so like around the time when I found your page, right? Like I found you from like Mark the Messenger, right? Like but like I didn't really want to like watch because like I didn't know like you seem like kind of like one of those strict YouTubers. So I was like, I might like watch him like
I
later
seem
or
like
something.
what?
Like when I
I seem like what, brother? I didn't really hear you.
like you seem like one of those strict YouTubers, like I don't know, like it's something about you was just different, like and
Street
like
YouTubers?
no, like strange, like strict,
Strict?
like you just don't play,
Uh
like you just don't
oh,
play, like like you know.
oh,
So
yep.
this story is about how like I'm sitting down in my house, like mind you, I seen this dude walking in our neighborhood already, and like I go in the house one day and I'm reading the Bible, it says, seek him and you shall find him. So I'm like, okay. Like I'm smirking and everything. Like I'm like, okay, I ain't finna see nobody when I walk outside. Nobody, right? So like, and mind you, I heard his name already. Like people say, oh, Yahweh Shai, da 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 da. So I go outside, I open the door. Lo and behold, I see him walking. The same man that been walking around our neighborhood, he's walking directly in front of my driveway. And I was scared. I was like, I said like, who are you or something? He was like, huh? And then I said, what's your name? And then he was like, huh? I said, what's your name? He literally cleared his throat and said, yeah, how is she? I said, what? Yeah, how is she? Then, like, next thing you know, like, we got close to each other and everything. We was talking, and I just seen his face. Like, his face looked just like your face, but like, I knew it was you because around that time you had like a shortcut, and he had dreadlocks. And mind you, like, a gust of wind was in front of him and everything, and like, he just like we talked. He asked me what grade I was in, and next thing you know, he just walked off. And then I seen him later on that day and he walked up the street. I turned around for three and a half seconds or half a second, turned back around, he was gone, disappeared. And that's how I got your YouTube. I've been watching you ever since. I was like, wow, that's just such a coincidence how, like, when I go to your old videos, like, you got his dreadlocks, you almost look exactly like him, and your videos just automatically about God or whatever.
Yeah,
And
maybe
my name is just,
maybe that was that was symbolic that maybe it was time for you to come over and learn the game on over here, man. So I'm glad you on the show, brother.
Yeah, I just had to tell that because, like, people been wondering, like, who I was, and, like, I was telling people, I was like, yeah, that's
How
me.
old are
Like,
you, and what city you in, bro?
I'm in Tennessee right now. I'm going through a lot. It's like personal, spiritual. I got the mark on my arm. It's like,
How old are
I
you?
guess from your, I'm 20 right
Okay,
now.
young man. Yeah, man. Tennessee, that's what's up. That's a decent place to be. I don't know what part you are. You ain't in Memphis, are you?
No, I'm in Maryville. I'm right next to the mountains, so I know what time it's getting close to that time, and I know who I am
Yeah.
too. I know. I got like, I already know.
Okay. Well, man, make sure you stay tapped in with us, brother. When we start doing these events, I like to meet you there.
Yeah, me too. Like, I got some stuff to tell you,
All right,
bro.
brother.
I ain't
All
gonna
right,
lie.
brother. All right, peace to you.
All
All right,
right.
have a good one.
All right.
All right. Yep. So this has been a blessed stream. You have figured out how to use this thing. I see a lot of people scanning the Cash App. Let's check that. Let me see. I think y'all just scanning it to see if it worked. Mass majority, you like, let me just scan this to see if it worked. Let me see. But shout out to Sterling Inslee, man. Shout out to you, bro. And he left a note there. It says, for what I have now, brother, man, I appreciate you, man. Edward, he said global truth in the notes. Darren King, salute. It says, oh, that's oh man, that's the brother right there. That's the elder. Thank you for the support as well. Blessings. Thank y'all for sponsoring the show. I do have some things I want to share with y'all. A couple highlights from the show that we did. Let me see if they are up here. And if they are, how do I find them? Let me go here. I might have to do it next time, which is not a problem. Because I think I'll do it next time in a vertical stream. So we'll do that next time. Anyway, thank y'all, man. Hopefully y'all had a good time, edifying time. Till next time, y'all be blessed. Shalom. Peace.